Lexical acquisition of pre-K children, English 4113 W1 Summer 2024. Dr. Barker, I'm Joe Patton. Pragmatics or usage and mapping or learning. Kids use fast mapping such as word association. Children need to use these words in engagement with others to aid in correct word retention. You know, back and forth with their caregiver or with other children their age is a big deal, a must. Nouns are easier to learn or map than verbs are. Fast mapping is achieved by using a range of stored meanings to use the process of elimination. Then associate clues to find meaning. Use phonetic probability to help rapid recall of novel words. Neighborhood density also affects lexical semantics by increasing vocabulary, necessitates novel storage techniques, so they have to come up with new ways to store things because of the density of the neighborhood. Low storage density supports a faster mapping. Words with more neighbors are more difficult to discriminate from others. And this is a two-step process where the child uses available information to learn from to form the definition of a word, followed by a phase of time to refine the roughly defined word. Retrieval may be affected by the type of referent, frequency of exposure, how often mom or dad's using it, content and context, how they refer to it. Word meaning is derived from usage, the variety and frequency of exposure. Longer caregiver utterances correlate with larger child vocabularies, so that always helps to hear our caretaker talking to us, especially in those critical early years. Operating principles. Contrast, the assumption that every form contrasts to every other meaning. Conventionality, expectations that certain forms will be utilized. For example, adding ing to convey action. Children prefer to assume a word applies to an object in motion to determine referent. Noun definitions, they contain a list of properties: physical properties, functional properties, usage properties, and location properties. And all of those attributes will be applied to nouns for children of this age group. Verb definitions are pretty much the same, except we're going to break them down into categories of what they can and can't explain. At this point, they can explain the who, what, and where, and they can't explain the why or the how, so they don't really get the meaning of things just yet, but they know who did what and where. Parental language to pre-K children and its effects. It's pinnacle for growth, like I said earlier, from 1 to 3 years. Depends somewhat on your SES situation and location for the family. If they can incorporate story time, it's an excellent way to expand an early vocabulary by the primary caregiver, because most of that before they enter, in that time frame right before they enter pre-K, they're going to learn most of their vocab at home. And then references are textbook, language development by Pearson Education. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention.